Sudbury, Ontario, the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. Really glad to have you with us. My name is Mark Robinson, and we've got recently crowned 2026 Brier champion Jacob Horgan in the house with us. So, Jake, thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is going to be lots of fun.
We got two really good teams coming up on our broadcast today. We've got Team Manitoba number 2, skipped by Nash Sugden, and they are taking on Team Ontario number 1, skipped by Evan MacDougall. Both of these teams did win their opening games. They played yesterday afternoon, and both of them had some pretty interesting finishes to their games. Of course, Ontario stealing their win, and Manitoba taking 3 to take theirs. So both teams looking to come out a little bit sharper today, trying to get not having to scramble for points late in the game, so to speak. And we're going to start this one with Ontario having the hammer, and we just watched this team put both of their draws to the button right on the pin. Kicking things off here, Team Manitoba 2 lead, Ryan Thiessen.
Always a little interesting how the team starting with hammer was going to want to play this first end.
It's right on the button.
Yeah. Team Ontario, after putting both of their LSD rocks right on the pin, I thought they might be a little tempted to throw a corner guard, given that maybe they do have a really good feel for the ice, but
yeah, absolutely.
Never a wrong idea to hit that first rock.
Ontario lead, Carson Kay. First morning game for these two teams as well. Just trying to get a feel for the ice. Ryan Thiessen, the 18-year-old, is a factory worker out in Manitoba. One previous U-20 appearance under his name and 2 Canadian U-18s as well. So both these teams have lots of national experience on the ice today.
Line's good, Evan's rough. Close. Curling early.
Carson Kay, 19-year-old marketing student.
2.5. We're at your feet. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Cards.
The corner guard now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you're good. It curled right away. Okay. Yeah. Are you okay? He killed it. Oh, okay, gotcha.
There you go. 17 still.
Manitoba wasting no time trying to draw another one in the house here.
Get close. I like it.
Okay.
2 or 3.
Best calls.
3.
He said you just know that.
Looks a little hot. Okay. Top 12. Cutting a little. Never Ryan. Never Ryan.
Top 12.
15-7. You're in for sure. That's okay.
Stops at the top of the 8-foot. Good first stone
Okay.
there for Tanner Trickle.
3.5 with 11. Okay. 11.
Really, you're on, Zay.
That is key.
Guys, keep grabbing times.
Yep. 11. Whoa. 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 11-5. Yep. Hard. Oh man, sorry.
Evan Medora looking for the hit and roll here behind the corner. This one will come up to the nose.
Girls really late. 11-5. Oh. Yeah. 11-6. Going curl a lot. Is that right? Get more 11-6. Okay, makes sense. I think I feel that's pretty good. So. Yeah, no, it's alright. It curled really hard.
Control!
9-7!
Curl.
Hard, Ryan! 9-7! Hard for B! Hard, buddy.
Takes it out, rolls out of the rings though. So this will give Ontario the opportunity now to use their corner guards.
Alright, there you go.
Pretty low risk again right now to get their
4 to 6 feet
set up their
slower
2
than
points.
I'll try to give you like a 80 from the front.
Like all I'm doing is trying to good sleep. On top of it, eh, here? Go on top if you can't see it. Did it?
Pretty high scoring games for both of these teams. In yesterday's game, obviously first game of the event for these two teams.
Line's fine.
What can we expect here in this game? Just trying to keep it a little bit more open, play it a little bit safer. What are we thinking?
I think so. You got to think, especially. Was it Ontario that had to take 3 in the last end to win?
Manitoba. Ontario had to steal the win.
Okay, so both 2 really high-scoring games. Maybe they're coming into this thinking maybe we hit a few more rocks and try not to get too complicated, get their feet under them still a little bit. But Team Ontario wasting no time to make a perfect come around there. It's going to force Manitoba to make a couple good ones to get out of this.
Manitoba third, Tyler Fair trying this one, 19-year-old.
Hair hot, real close.
Heavy-duty diesel truck mechanic.
Back 8. Whoa.
Calling this one heavy out of his hand.
It's just gotta come off.
This one should be heavy.
You're just back T. That's good.
Yeah, good news for Manitoba. They're shot rock, but the bad news is that kind of leaves Ontario for an opportunity to freeze down to it. And now I kind of think if you're Manitoba, you're not only worried about giving up a deuce here, but potentially a 3 if this freeze is made.
Yeah, you wanted to keep that rock above the tee line, especially.
Little tight. Close. Tee line. Don't count it. Line's fine. It's close. Looks hot. Back 4. Running like it's heavy. Back 8. Nice. Back 8. Coming down now.
Good opportunity here for Dylan Stockton if he can sink this one around, lock it on the Manitoba stone.
No bounce.
Line's looking really good for this one. Really nice shot.
Oh, really nice. Great shot, Dylan. Nice ball. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so far, really impressive rock placement by Ontario out here.
Yeah, not wasting any time. Like you mentioned, Josh and Button were both on the pin. They seem to have a read on this sheet right from the start here.
Yeah, nice to manage there. Sorry
a lot of pressure on Manitoba now.
Tight,
Yeah,
hard
very good.
straight.
What'd you put in
Line
that?
close.
Hard, you gotta go.
Front court. Hard line. Front court, G-Lud.
Head up.
G-Lud. Top court. Hard. Really gotta go hard. Hard as you can, boys. Really gotta go.
Should be
Come
right.
on. Right up, hard straight. Right up straight. Hard straight.
Up a hair light on that one.
Yeah.
Great sweep.
Thanks.
Coming up just a hair short.
Seen something like this? Okay.
I can
that.
hear you,
Wait,
like,
just
everything you're
straight
saying.
Split. We're shot. We're shot. Okay, I'm on that.
Just about half a rock to a rock short there from getting shot rock, but that tiny bit just makes kind of all the difference now.
Yeah, it does.
I think.
Takes 3 out of play right now. Just the fact that the red out comes to Yellowstone. Tough to remove it now.
Girls really hard here. Hey.
Ontario's going to look to move that that yellow guard, try to give them access to that red stone later on in the end.
11-5.
Yeah, interesting call here. I think I might want to be tempted to kind of just split the rings sort of things on the other side, try to sit 2.
Yeah, 2's good right at the start. But,
Hard roll.
trying to roll this one into the rings here. It's looking pretty close.
Go.
Yeah, they really want to roll this in there, sit 2.
Hard, Carson,
What a really nice shot.
Really
Keep
nice.
going. Yeah, great shot. Really nice. Nice call, dude.
That's not an easy shot at any time in the game, but especially at the first end where you're not really quite sure what that kind of weight will do to the wing. So
Yeah, still learning a lot of these paths here.
Pretty straight here.
See that rolls it right across center.
It worked out, okay?
2 points are spread out across the rings and forces Manitoba to play hit and roll here right back.
It's not really a double. He's hitting on top.
Okay.
Pretty thin double.
What are you throwing, like 10 or 9?
Just 9.
Like it.
It doesn't curl much here.
Okay. You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
Just getting our first look here at Team Manitoba 2 skip.
9.
Nash Sugden out of the Morton Curling Club.
Yep. Hard.
18-year-old science student at the University of Manitoba.
Oh. That's close.
Makes the hit,
Ooh.
rolls over.
They're shot right now.
That's really good. Your shot. You're 1.
it's pretty much mission accomplished there. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty good too. That's
Super
great.
cat.
I like that.
it's hard to do too much better than that, so that's a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Move that red one over just a touch, but still sits in time to outcount that yellow stone. So
Pardon?
not a bad result there from Manitoba.
Is this which one's better? I think it's red over this one. You like it?
Yeah, you're not throwing it hard. I think it's like
Just here?
Yeah.
You just want to make sure you kill that though.
I've seen this better.
Okay. You like a 9-5 then? Just to make sure it gets hit.
Yeah, but they're taking out their yellow.
Okay. Yeah.
Move at all here. Wherever you can do on that one.
Pretty much, yeah. Like you
What?
can sleep it for straight.
Are you trying to kill our yellow and red?
Yeah.
It's take a look. We're 1, 2.
Transfer Ontario now to either hit this one on the nose,
Sorry, 1, 3, and 4.
sit 2. You could even roll over to the right-hand side as we're looking at it and try to set up a
Yeah, I don't think that's,
bigger end still.
don't think it's there.
Got it, buddy.
Like to watch rocks? Doesn't matter. Okay.
It'll be Ontario skip. Evan MacDougall here with that attempt.
Whoa! Clean! Yep!
Evan's a geography student at the University of Guelph.
Cool.
Sweepers are on and off it. Gets a jam.
Nice shot. That's fine.
Yeah, it just goes.
Leave a double?
It's not what they wanted there. It's going to give Manitoba the opportunity to hit and roll, and out of nowhere, the force is on here.
It's first
Out of nowhere for sure.
because we're shot out of these two.
Ever hate just dead
They're really
nose?
good.
'Cause then if you
First
get
shot of the
to
game there for Evan. He wasn't either of the players that threw the LSD,
He's got a nose for a shot. If you ever roll, then
so
it's
not
a
always
big
easy.
hit.
First shot of the game.
Even a little
Yeah, I like this actually.
You kind of just want to roll it a little big this way, right?
10.
Just nose or a little low.
That
Okay.
double pin is not there, right?
Yeah.
So fair. If you get any roll to the left, then the double gets easier.
Okay.
Even to the roll to the right if you need. Like that's okay, honestly.
Yeah.
That nose is perfect.
You got it, buddy.
Just don't want to set up a double here. Just any kind of roll to the left side of center should be good enough for Manitoba.
Ten.
Hard. Yes.
10.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, clean, clean. Nice.
Slight roll to the left. Should do the job.
Okay.
Looks like that should do the trick. Very good shot
didn't know
by
if it was or not.
Manitoba Skip.
But he's right. They're not like separated enough.
Yeah, well that's what I said. Now the double's not there because of jam. Right?
Looks like Ontario should be able to get shot rock if he noses this.
Yeah, just nose hit required here for your single. Good news is you have quite a bit of room to roll to on the left side of the sheet there.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, still force is fine.
I think so. If you just clip it high, you just got to stick in the
Same feel as last game.
full 12. I think it's there. It's not super easy, and if you jam, you can give a steal. But it's I actually didn't see what they called. Well, they just played this turn.
Last rock to the first end on the way. Skip and MacDougall looking for a nose hit here for his single point.
Clean. Roll. Clean. Yep. Yep.
Sweepers are liking this one early.
Clean. Clean. Great shot. Nice throw.
Right up to the nose for the single point. So Ontario is going to be striking first.
I think so. They didn't miss that by too
They're
much.
going to be taking the 1-0 lead. A little bit of back and forth that end. Looking at some opportunities to score some big points, and then we ended up with a force after that one.
Tough shot. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I like just taking it.
Both teams are going to regroup. Going to talk about whether to put a few more rocks in play next end and see if we get some center guards in play. We'll be back with you right after this.
I think it still makes the lead right there. I like top. I think we're making it. Yeah.
Nothing better than a little bit of Nickel City curling here on a Sunday morning. Welcome back to the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under 20 Curling
great
Championships.
Not sure.
As Ontario making the nose hit for their single points after a
At this point, I have no
fairly well
idea.
put end there by both teams.
Yeah, last one's great.
Manitoba now with the hammer, and Ontario not wasting any time. They're looking to putting up a center guard right off the bat here, try to put some pressure on Manitoba.
Mine's fine, Evan's rough.
Top 8. I can freaking taste it. It tasted like the breakfast this morning. It's so bad.
Still top 8.
In there.
Mine's really good, Evan's rough.
Yeah.
Really close, top 8.
Did you actually 7 minutes and 40 seconds? It's really quick.
Great.
Yeah, real nice.
Congrats, buddy.
Good throw.
Especially Ontario's coming right into the button.
Yeah, buddy.
Great shot. That boy.
And
Josh, 2 for 2 on contact.
roll it if you can.
Really nice.
Nose hit there for Ryan Thiessen. See a few more hits. Sounds like Manitoba may be keeping it a little bit more open after their opening game yesterday.
Just the dart.
Right in, really hard.
Guys curling at 5%.
Hold it. Nice. Good shot. Oh, okay, yeah.
Right on the nose there for Ontario. Just listening into Team Manitoba and their coach, just discussing about keeping it a little bit more open. Their opening game yesterday against Team Nova Scotia 2, Manitoba actually led 6-1 at the break and gave up back-to-back steals of 3 late in the game. They had to score 3 in the last end to win that one 9-8. So it's probably one of the good discussion points late last night, trying to keep it a little bit more open and be a little bit more patient for your opportunities to score.
Yeah, if you're Manitoba, you're probably thinking that there's still plenty of ends left in this game, and not necessarily that important to go on the offense too soon.
It's still early in the event. Obviously, it's both of these teams just playing their second game now, so still trying to figure out all the spots on the ice and the differences in the sheets. So up and down here in the second end.
Curl a hair. Roll it. Roll it.
It's over, rolling over to the wing.
Out of 10-2. That was perfect.
Yep. Hey, you like 9? I like 10 then. I like 10. Yep. That was that was 11.
It's a chance for Ontario now to see what these hits do a little bit wider. We haven't seen a hit down in the 12 foot yet.
Shooter.
Yep. Whoa, curl. Curl.
How did you hit them both?
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
No problem for them.
All right. Think it's gonna run the same here? Yep. Yes.
Tanner Trecker
Yes.
here, looking for the nose hit, calling his sweeper zone right away. Tanner is an art student at the University of Manitoba, 18-year-old. Just hangs it on the edge of the 12.
Is that good rate? Oh, wow. Yeah.
It was on it the whole way. Tease goes for a second, just backs up like a quarter inch.
First of the third stones now in the second end. Dylan Stockton looking to hit this one and roll back into the rings. No mistake.
No mistake there.
Nice shot. Good throw. Where's it? Okay.
Just padding stats right now, eh?
You got 11. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought it was heavy on mine, so.
10.
Oh, yeah.
Ten 2.
Nice Nice hit there by Tyler Fair.
Good toss. I had 10-3.
Similar. 10-5. Get heavy. Nice, good though. Okay. A little bit off the white collar.
10.
Tyler Fair looking to make another hit here. Like to roll away a little bit, give Ontario a new path to look at here. This will come up to the nose.
I thought it was pretty close. Well, good thing. Good thing it was down. What? No. Pardon? Could be. Yeah, I don't have my humidex yet, or whatever it's called. Humidex, is that what it's called? Sounds like something I read.
We're seeing some of the athletes talking to their coaches in between shots there. It's one of the big changes that Curling Canada and World Curling have put in place this year for these athletes. When you're not throwing, when your opposition's clock is running, you are allowed to confer with your coach, whether you're talking about strategies or paths on the ice, speeds. These coaches are right at ice level here this week.
Nice throw, really good. Yeah, nice.
Each team gets 2 coaches interactions per game, one per half.
You got a bunch.
32 minutes on the clock per game, so extended it by 2 minutes from the old 30 minutes. And call the coach's interaction and talk to your coach for a minute. Clock keeps running.
You got it. Nine, 7.
Yes. 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 Oh! Clean.
Sorry, we were up, Nash said curl, and then you said straight right after. It was what?
10-5.
Really? It felt. He kicked out with smoke. 10-5. You think so?
It's been close to a perfect end by both teams here. Certainly, both teams have shown they know how to make a nose hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I expect this one to be right on the nose, and then we'll see if Manitoba Skip Nash can make that blank end.
Yeah, you want to stick around here if you're Ontario. At least force a shot out of Manitoba for their last one. Yeah, stick in the rings, first things first. Ed MacDougall with his final skip stone.
Clean. Curl. 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 Right to it, Carson. Yep. Gotta get your center. Keep going.
Calling
Yeah, nice
curl
one.
early, and this one will stick around right on the nose.
Good goal.
Opportunity for Manitoba to get the blank now.
Yeah, so far he's made no mistake with control or normal weight shots this game, but we probably expect this one to come down with a little more weight, closer to that peel weight.
Yeah.
And they were talking a little bit about this side of the sheet running a little bit straighter, so we'll see what peel weight does down this side. A little bit tighter ice, expecting this run to run straight. It's final stone here for Nash Sugden. Swinging it all the way, and no mistake there for the blank.
Thanks, appreciate it.
The score remains 1-0 after 2 ends.
Blank. Wash.
Banging a little bit of time on the clock as well here. So up and down these first 2 ends. We're going to see if we get a few more rucks in play coming up. Third end coming up right after this.
2.
Welcome back to Sudbury for the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. We are at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex here this week. 2 pads of ice being used,
boys. Blanker
4 sheets on each pad. About 1,100 room for seating with a couple hundred more standing. Manitoba with the last rock here in the third end.
One.
Ontario finally looking to switch things up here. They're going for the center guard here in the third.
Hard distance, Evan.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive shot making so far the first couple ends here. But I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see what these 2 really good teams can do with some more complicated setups. And see what these guys can do.
So 2 really good teams last night as well. Northern Ontario women and Team Saskatchewan, they made a lot of draws as well once they figured out those
around the corner.
passes. Really good ice here this week.
I had a
Chief
20 on
Tom
there.
Leonard and his team always do a good job with this building.
Okay.
Shout out to the ice crew.
Certainly, Tom always does such an amazing job. Personally, growing up in Sudbury, I got to play on Tom's ice all the time.
Close
Basically
out of
growing
hand,
up
too.
on Tom's ice. And it's really awesome to see like a Sudbury local get to show his stuff and make such good ice at a national level.
Absolutely.
Really curling.
Not often you don't hear good things about Tom's ice. So Manitoba's still looking at coming into the rings here, trying to bring this one behind the C line.
I'm not hitting this.
That was just a really awkward wait. I don't know. I didn't think it was going to be in.
Stop in the top 12.
For Ryan, that
Chance for Ontario here to use their guard.
Like real life. What'd you get for a time? Like 4-2 on a split, which is like.
There's like that in between.
Yesterday we were pounding that to get it over. Real keen.
I even argued with Keegan yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
Right the 8 foot. Like, T. Top 4. It's close. Dylan drop. T back 4. Okay, we can't poke out that side. Okay, you're coming down here now. Top 4.
So it's hanging a little bit more, just that extra weight. Pulling it out, starting to come in now.
Yeah, nice shot, really good.
Just comes to rest at the top of the 8 foot. Half to 2/3 open, I would say.
I like 12-5.
Just think like
Good dog, Ryan.
normal board, but it's a little soft. It's soft board.
It was.
So Manitoba calling for a 12.5 second hit here, so it'll be interesting to see really their first crack at one of these really touch weight shots, so to speak.
Back line.
This This one's close to center early.
Yeah, and that'll move it off the center with the dreaded no-tick rule that they have the option to put that center guard back to where it was.
You ever like hitting it now?
Yeah, first one I've seen this week. Of course, first 5 stones at the end. If it's touching the center line, you cannot remove it from center.
I think you're pretty close there, yeah.
I think weight was pretty close.
And first 5 rocks in the free guard zone for the end can't even be removed from play. So this will give the really good opportunity for Ontario here to get a hit and roll under, even a nose hit here. Manitoba will be chasing a little bit. Got some work to do.
Heavy. Go.
Cut butt.
Hard, Carson, you got it. Hard. Keep going.
Looking for the roll here. This one's pretty close.
Roll it. Roll hard. Hard, Dylan. Yeah, roll good.
Really nice result.
Very nice. Pretty much the perfect roll there.
That's all you got.
Evan Medora
Very
with
good
that
start
throw.
to the third end for Team Ontario
Really
here.
good.
Like 13.
I like
Great
a
tip, guys,
12-5.
Okay.
That one, that's a bit.
Manitoba's not in too much trouble yet, I'd say. If they can make a nice chase here, if they can chase out that top 8 rock, then the good news for them is that center guard for Ontario is pretty high. So
Yeah, and a nice hit and roll over to the side. At least you'll be forcing Ontario to likely chase after it and open up your center a little bit.
Yeah. Hold down. Yeah.
Sweeper's trying to hold this one. It's following a similar line of the first throw. Just by.
Really nice.
Makes the hit, pushes it through the rings.
I am on that,
So
yeah.
it just gets by the guard
Good
there.
sweep.
Sits right in front of the Ontario stone.
Right on the new Holland logo. Yep. Okay.
Of 12-5 or board? Sorry, or half.
Never let go
So
of
that's your
more.
half. We'll draw for this right now, like a 15.
Ontario looking at guarding this
Solid 15.
this red-yellow combo here right now.
Everything's just fine too.
So Ontario stone's in a really good spot on the button right now.
Line's good.
Tight, well tight.
Yeah, pretty tight. Feels hair heavy. Curling early. Line's okay right now. Over and up.
We're on it. We're on the logo.
Over and up.
A little higher.
Over and up. Never curl.
Want this one to stop now.
Good.
Good, Evan.
This is a good spot.
very good spot.
Evan, is that a little soft?
Yeah, I'd say
I like
Manitoba
this
kind of has
angle.
some decisions to make, whether
Okay.
you try a bailout double peel or whether you kind of get aggressive with this setup. But looking like they're going to call the
A
peel.
lot of that back one.
Both options are good too.
Yeah, let's throw a single.
It's just like this.
Yeah,
Let's throw the single.
I like it.
Clean.
What'd you get my last one? 5. Okay, sounds good.
Nice peel there. Tanner Trickle.
I'm on like a 4-9.
Give the opportunity for Ontario to put that guard right back to where it was.
You're just gonna wait for a miss there.
Yeah, lots of curl in the spot. Line's good. I got tight. I got 2.5, 3.
Gotta come to
Feels
this
close.
end.
2.5.
Dylan Stockton here with this guard
Line
attempt.
only. Line only.
Just clean it.
Over and off. Curling like crazy. Easy. Whoa.
And just cleaning that in.
Nice spot.
Nice guard there. That's going to give Manitoba the opportunity to play the double peel now.
We went a wider and curl more.
Both Ontario stones fairly close together.
Yeah, good shot.
Peel.
What the hell is that?
Moves them both off center.
Guard still?
I mean, it kind of does the same thing.
I know.
Yeah, I think you put it up again. Okay, yeah. That was,
So not the way they were looking to make it, but moves everything off center.
Yeah, it seems like that definitely does the trick.
That's as good as you need to make it, right? Like,
Only scary thing there, if you're looking for scary things, is it takes away the upturn draw on your last one.
line's good. Good tune up. Hair more.
Opens up the red for the time being.
Yeah, at some point in time, Manitoba might be tempted to take a crack at that double run back and try to make contact on shot rock on the tee line. Because sort of like you said, with that outturn draw path being blocked up, then at some
Scar's coming in
point,
a little bit deeper.
Perfect spot. Great shot. Real nice. Nice call. Nice call.
Like you said, now might be the opportunity to try to run it back and
That's a great spot.
give yourself a shot. Looks like they may play the straight peel one more time here.
Okay.
easy peel.
Tyler Fair with this throw.
Clean.
It's no mistake.
What? Yeah, it is now.
this will be Evan's first draw of the game. It's a pretty routine guard, especially when they've seen it a few times this end now, but still your first draw of the game.
And we're a few ends in, so we'll see if anything's changed from when they were throwing earlier in practice.
Lift's over here is making a nice freezer there. Oh, you bet I did.
Evan MacDougall's first stone here, third end.
Okay. That's fine.
Really tight.
Looking to put up this guard again. Sweeper's calling it a little bit heavy.
It might die. No.
Okay.
Three.
Okay, well, let's curl. Curl. Just curl, just curl. Just curl. Yep, curl. Curl. Yep. Whoa. Yeah, good. Good spot.
Covers the reds. A little bit deeper than they wanted though, Jake.
So you just get it, that's okay.
I think now's your chance.
I think even if you pick two of them.
Just a hair deep, but line got pretty much perfect for them at least. But I think we'll definitely see Nash take a run at this double run back here.
Yeah, definitely an opportunity to get both yellows to move here.
Nice though, line is good.
If you miss it, then you got to.
I think if you're Nash, you're almost thinking if you could make the yellow double and stick the red right onto where shot rock is, then you actually have an opportunity for a blank.
Yeah, absolutely. Force Ontario to make that really good hit and roll right back. Want to make some noise up the middle here though first. Want to leave yourself a shot for at least one here.
It's like 1/3.
Okay. I'll watch the top yellow. Peel.
Important first throw for Nash here.
Hard.
This is looking really close.
Yeah, on and off is always really good. It's like that.
Yeah, that's a very good shot.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
A little unfortunate to leave that top yellow around, but you're going to have some room to score for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yep, one more finish this way.
Well, I think that we were thinking that we don't need to plant the red there.
Yeah, at least that top yellow rolled plenty far enough that it won't really be an issue for his second shot. So Evan's gonna take a crack at this roll. If not, looks like Nash should have a nose hit to score.
Yeah, you like a little less, 3 med less?
I think regardless, Manitoba's going to be a little bit happier with the look of this end now that
Definitely.
now that they can see the button a little bit better.
Yeah, it seems like Nash was a little disappointed to not get that top yellow out, but certainly looking better than a few shots ago. So
Yeah, and it's a 1-point game too. It's not like you're desperate for multiple point end just yet. But important here for Ontario, make the nose hit, stick around in the rings, make sure to get the force.
Close. Clean. Close. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Curl. Curl.
This one's close for the roll here.
Curl. Any roll. Roll. Ah, sorry. Good throw. Sorry.
Can look to the nose. Mission accomplished here though for Ontario.
You got full.
Sorry about that one.
You like bump?
Sure, I don't hate it.
Good throw. They're great.
I think you're less than that.
And Manitoba's seen a few hits down here now earlier in the sense they should have a good read on what this path does. Close to center.
I like 11.
Good throw. You got a force.
Just 11 here.
Yeah, just make sure you're loud.
Yeah.
We were having trouble kind of on the
I
loud.
just don't call mine.
Yeah, I know. But if you hear Ty saying something you like it, yell it.
Yeah, and just reminding the line callers to be a little bit louder. It's
You got it, buddy.
a little bit rowdy in here with all the fans in the stands. So, but we always like it here. Last look at the end here. Looking for a nose hit here for Manitoba. Trying to score their single point.
Clean.
Applying a little bit of curl, but this one's looking like it's going to get right up to nose. Nash makes no mistake there. So two open ends here, and got a few more rocks in play in the third end. So we're going to be looking to see what kind of entertainment we get coming back in the fourth end. So stick around, and we'll have more action for you coming up.
To put one foot in front of the other. That with a little hard work, great things will happen. We can go for gold, but what matters most is having fun. We learn from some of the best, improving our skills, building confidence, and making friends that feel like family. We are proud to be the future of curling.
We are back here in Sudbury, the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. Mark Robinson and Jake Corrigan with you here, and a really entertaining first three ends here between Team Manitoba 2 and Ontario 1. We've seen a lot of really good shots being made so far. And always entertaining to have a tied game at this stage in the match.
17-5 and we will get there.
And looking like Manitoba's going to put up center guard here to get us started in the fourth end.
That's actually so accurate. You need to replay this, dude.
Do you want to go?
yeah, I'd say at this stage in the game, there's only 5 ends left, so I imagine we'll probably be seeing guards to start most of the ends now. It's getting just a little late in the game to throw one in and have the team with hammer hit out ends.
Yeah, and even then, Ontario's going to want to try to score their 2 here. Another one of the differences now with the Under-20 Championships, just to align a little bit better with some of the big changes that World Curling is bringing in for the new quadrennial. We're switching to 8 ends here for the
You can probably
New Holland
comfortably
Canadian
get
20
16.
Curling Championships, formerly 10 ends, of course.
That was 16.
I like it. 2.5. 1.5, 2.
Center guard made there for Manitoba, and Carson Kay is looking to put up this corner guard here for Ontario. Sweepers are just cleaning it over.
Oh, boy. Yeah. We barely touched it.
Yeah, real nice.
And it stops in a nice spot.
I don't hate the same way. We have to drill it, but yeah, I think we can get it there. Well, think about it. It's a 16 with no feet in between the lines. I really
Ryan Thiessen put up a center guard, looking to draw around it now with his second stone.
What do you think?
Line's good all weight.
Ryan with 2 Canadian U18 appearances and a former Canadian U20s under his belt as well.
Really gotta curl, really gotta curl. Hard curl, hard curl.
We're deep. We're deep.
So no stranger to this level of play.
Right up, right up, right up, right up, right up.
Struck's going to slide a little bit deep. It gets it fully buried.
I told you we could drill it there.
Ontario's going to ignore those 2 reds. Of course, with that red slipping behind the button, no real danger yet. And going to maximize their corner guard here.
Oh, I hammered it the whole way.
Well, we thought it was light.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's the same.
Oh, yeah.
Top 12. Yeah, top 8, top 12.
Would have been if I didn't drill it. End to end.
Trying to get this one by. They do.
No, that was probably stopping like top 8.
Yeah, Ronas. Good shot.
There we go. Might peek out the other side a little bit. We're getting a lot of late finish here at the arena.
Like, yeah, 7/8.
Yeah, I think you're playing.
Still a pretty good shot by Carson. He's had a really good start to this game.
Yeah, it's going to be out there.
You got that.
And Manitoba's electing to chase after it now.
12. 12-5. 11.
I want to say this is some of the widest they've gone out this game, so always kind of interesting to see what a lightweight chase will do out this wide for the first time.
Especially on this side of the ice, too. We've seen a few of the wider ones on the other side of the sheet.
Well,
I have a really good look at this where I'm sitting right now, and I can attest that was a really well thrown rock. We'll see if he has the weight for it,
hard.
though.
Yes, hard.
Hard! A little bit of finish now. And no mistake there.
Yeah,
A little roll under.
very well done. Oop. Really nice shot. It could be a little unfortunate where they rolled their shooter. That could be a potential rock to freeze to by Ontario later in the end, even if they don't play it necessarily right now. But
I got like a quarter on this side. I like space. Okay. It's definitely there. Okay. I like it done.
Just going to try to follow this one down a little bit lighter weight here for Ontario. If you can get close to the nose or even a little bit of a roll under, just keep Manitoba busy with that rock.
Space.
It'll be Evan Medor with this throw.
Close. Yep. Hard. Yep. Cool.
By the corner, no problem.
Cool.
Trying to get that late finish now. Is it going to move it far enough? You bet it does. Really nice shot.
very good shot.
That's pretty good, eh?
Really impressive weight control by Evan there.
Yeah, just through the rings there. The spot that we've really only seen one throw there. So
Okay, all
you see, just gets that late finish and sits mostly buried from the other side of the hack.
What do you guys like, a 16?
So they'll force Manitoba to change gears here, and they're going to use that center guard that they put up. Try to get Ontario to chase those a little bit.
Gotta go line. Gotta go line.
Tanner Treichel with that throw.
Line's great, always. Top 4. Top 4. Line's good. Top 4. I drop now. Here. Never deep. You're right there.
Blowing this up, right?
Really good.
Sits in the 4-foot. Sweepers knew where that one was going right from the start. Calling top 4 right away.
Get off 3. Okay.
Really good look at the finish on this rock too.
Yeah, look at that beautiful late curl. That's exactly kind of what you want to see at a national championship like this.
Forces Ontario to play the run back now.
Clean.
It's looking really close.
Yep.
Makes 2 of the move.
Throw.
Leaves the Red Rock open, so a really nice throw there.
I don't think you got that one.
Yeah, I think they're going to be really happy with that. Even though they jammed that rock in top 4 there, still looking a lot better than before he threw. So
18.
Manitoba needs to be a little careful with this guard here. If they don't guard enough of the yellow, they're going to leave Ontario to plant that run back potentially. And then the good news for Ontario is it's in the exact same spot that Evan just threw this, so they should have a good read on it.
Yeah, really good result to spill that red open a little bit further open.
I'm just sure about that.
It's really soft.
You look good. You look good.
Mine's good.
It's like a 1.
Curl.
So need this one to curl over a little bit more. Wants to try to get to center line to cover a little bit of the yellow.
Right out.
Not quite going to get there. So Ontario will have that run back to sit 2 like you mentioned, Jake.
Probably chased it. I like that though.
I think that's easier.
Yeah, that was pretty much a job well done with the guard. That was pretty much the call, but
4-7 on that.
the caliber that these two teams are showing, you got to be really careful of leaving these run
I
backs.
still thought you could give her.
I don't think you get to that sideline. I think you stuff with center now, eh?
You're almost stopped and you hit the
Ontario's
line.
had a really good read on these soft weight hits too. Looking to hit about 3/4 of the stone.
10. Let's go.
It's close. Makes contact.
That's fine. Good throw. That's fine.
Doesn't sit out. Pushes it out of the forefoot though.
Where was good?
Go here now.
Yeah, just a couple inches away from planting this run back perfectly.
Yeah, Redstone's still exposed though.
15?
But leaves that center guard that Manitoba just threw. So Manitoba's going to try to sink another one around, try to sit 2.
Too much. Too little.
Just biting eight.
Tyler Fair with that attempt.
Mine's good. Bite 8. Always straight. Bite 8. Just biting 8. Hard boy, gotta go. Hard weight, hard. Gotta go hard. Drag it straight.
Got to get this one shot rock though. Not quite. So opportunity now for Ontario.
If you plant it on the floor,
Really close.
you like 11? That was 10-6.
I'll slide better.
Sorry.
I'll slide better.
Okay. Okay.
Shit. I didn't shoot.
Hit and roll being called here for Dylan Stockton. Sweepers are on it all the way.
Okay, nice shot.
Still inside roll, no problem there.
10.
Gives Manitoba the opportunity to play this hit and roll under their own red guards though.
It's been fudging up a little. And like, plan B, you gotta roll somewhere, right?
Yeah, so far Nash has been really sharp with shots like this throughout the game, so I'm expecting him to be really, really close on this.
And we've seen a few throwers in this path,
Yeah, I agree.
various weights, so we should have a good idea of what this one's what it's gonna do down here.
You're on 10, you said? Okay.
Ten-5.
go.
Sugden's first skip stone, this fourth end. So it's hanging a little bit.
Go other side, other side.
Hard, hard. Straight.
Roll, hard, roll.
That really hung.
We thought it was going to hang a little.
As you can see, he wanted to roll the other way, gets a little bit of an outside roll. That'll give Ontario the opportunity to try to hit and roll around their corner guards, try to set up possibly a 3 if this one's made really well.
Little less.
Like, not like more than
So good opportunity here for Evan MacDougall.
Whoa. Close. Clean. Roll. Roll. Yep.
Calling this one a curl a little bit more.
Whoa.
It's looking close for the roll. And just missed it on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Curled a lot, hog line in as well. We're getting a lot of late finish right off the center line there.
I've been giving you here, and it's been pretty good. That was that one.
Yeah, I think their thought was in that spot they possibly couldn't roll over the top of that one. I think that was kind of Evan's thought process there, but
Yeah, maybe a little more weight than they were expecting to.
That
Rolled a
too.
little bit further than they were expecting.
We just got to be buried, right? We split them. Yeah.
Yeah, line's more important if you're.
I really think 16 is safe.
Okay. Just need it.
But I
I want to say this is Nash's first draw of the game as well, so
Yeah. But like, is Button
he's
your
been pretty
favorite
sharp
spot?
on his hits this game.
Okay. Okay, let's throw 15-8, 16.
And it's never kind of easy throwing your first draw of the game, let alone like a really high precise, high pressure draw like this one. So
I'll just plow.
I'd love to sink this one in the full 4-foot. Try to get a steal in play here. Listen in and see what the sweepers call.
I think so.
Line's good. Gotta go with it.
Yeah, you can go straight here. It's okay to go straight.
Where? Stop 8, stop 4.
Line's close. Airtight, airtight.
Line's really good. Whoa.
The weight's in the ballpark here if they can get the line right.
Oh, wait.
T.
Line's good.
It's coming in a little bit deep. It's going to peek out the other side. So
Like, it's light.
about
just
throw?
a hair over curl.
So opportunity here for Ontario to score the 2 points they've been working for this whole end. And be really good for them. As they would have discussed before the end, they really wanted that 2-point lead going into the break. So one good throw here and you'll accomplish that mission. Here we go. Evan MacDougall in his last throw here at number 4. Soft weight hit for a big 2 points here going into the break. Sweepers are on it early. Swinging hard to get it by. Calling clean now. This one looks really good.
Nice throw.
Yeah, great shot.
A great throw there by Evan MacDougall.
Great weight control there by Evan, and really good sweep to hold that too.
Yeah, Ontario fans are loving that one too. Here in the Ontario crowd. So really good first four ends here between Team Manitoba 2 and Team Ontario 1. Ontario 1 taking their 3-1 lead going into the fourth break. We'll be back after a short break. We'll be back to the second half. Stay with us.
Look at that shot. See how he reacts. There goes one move in the air. Hits them both, too. Ah, great shot. That's a great shot. Oh, he's going to pick it right out of there. He's got it. Is what you need to become an Indianapolis champion. You got one, you got two, you got three for the game.
Time to go home, kiddo.
Just one more throw, please.
Thank you for making moments like these possible.
We are back after a short break here at the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. We've been treated to a really good game here between Nash Sugden, Manitoba number 2, and Evan MacDougall's Ontario 1 team. Ontario's got a 3-1 lead at the break. Seen some really good shots here in this first half of the game. Kept it fairly open in the first couple of ends, but Ontario striking with a couple of really good opportunities here, and especially that nice hack weight hit to take a little bit of control here going into the start of this second half. So teams are just wrapping up their
I got the same thing.
Fourth end break here. Obviously discussing with their coaches about their strategies going forward. Both of these teams gave up a few steals late in the game in their opening games. So we'll see if both teams elect to keep it a little bit open going into this fifth end. Ontario likely not taking as many chances now that they've got a 2-point lead at this point in the game. But we're going to see some corner guards here from Team Manitoba to get those 2 points back. We still have 4 ends left, so interesting to see how both teams respond here. So both teams getting down to the last 40 seconds of the fourth end break here. We're going to see Ontario get ready to throw their stones. Just catching you up to speed on some of the other games here on some of the other sheets. We've got 8 games to play here using both sides of the ice here at the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex. It's Nova Scotia number 2 with Team Lockhart taking a 4-1 lead on Team Snow from Saskatchewan. The home province favorites on sheet B, Team Curtis from Northern Ontario, just took 4 in the fourth end to take a 5-2 lead on PEI's Team Bruce. Sheet D's Quebec number 1, Team Tremblay, taking a 3-1 lead on Team Perry from Newfoundland and Labrador. Alberta number 2 with a 3-2 lead on Team Matheson of New Brunswick. All tied at 1 between BC number 1 and Saskatchewan number 2 over on the other pad. Ontario's McTavish has a 7-2 lead on Manitoba number 1 over on Sheet G. And the other Northern Ontario boys, Team Winters from North Bay, with a 3-0 lead on Team Floyd from Yukon. And you are up to date. Fourth and break. We're ready to go here to start the fifth end. It's going to be Carson K. Team Ontario.
Line's good, Evans rock. Bobby. Top 4.
So Jake, Ontario's up by 2 now. Fifth end. You know Ontario or Manitoba's going to be looking hard to get their dues right back. What do you do here for Ontario?
From Ontario, yeah, I really like this strategy of calling it into the rings, and this looks almost perfect.
Just easy.
Really good.
You want that right on the center line, top button, top
It's like 16 seconds just right there. Like bang.
What was that?
16 on the nose.
I would expect like Manitoba to put some guards up eventually, and if you're Manitoba, you probably want to peel when you can. Sort of any rock in the rings that Manitoba puts in, Ontario's going to be looking at trying to remove it, whether it's some sort of chase or some sort of peel or run back.
Yeah. Roll. Yeah, hard. Really hard.
Manitoba starting off the end with a hit, but it wouldn't surprise me if they throw a corner guard right after this and pull that textbook delayed corner strategy.
Nope.
Yeah, you want to hang around on the edge there. Unfortunately, we'll roll out and give Ontario the same opportunity.
I'm just getting no grip from these
Still really
gloves
early
right
in the end. You've still got lots of opportunities.
I'm getting no grip right now.
Later on.
I like this call again, going right into top button, top 4 again. No reason just because they rolled out to then throw a center guard and complicate things too much.
I don't know.
More.
Ask him after this one. I thought it was a good throw.
No, Ontario does have that 2-point lead. Obviously not the
not
the safest lead with the 5 rock rule in play, but definitely allows you to take a little bit less risk, play a little bit more cautious, so to speak. Keep the rocks in the rings. Feel when you can. This one's going to come up a little bit shorter than the last one, so nothing in the 4 foot. And now we see Manitoba putting up the corner guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? You got
17, 5, 18.
It's like a big.
I got 17. I had a huge out.
Yeah. Good throw. Nice. Sorry.
Feels close, eh?
Oh. Like a lot bigger ad. Let's move it.
Nice throw. Really good way.
Ryan Thiessen here being left with the corner guard attempt.
Where are we?
Looks good.
Still want to be in.
You're very in.
Come on.
Just slips into the rings there. That'll give Ontario the chance to hit and roll back to center.
That's on us, not you.
Double.
Look, curl off the shelf.
Got it, buddy.
Yeah, not quite ideal slipping into the rings for Manitoba there, but out of all the ends, you see that sort of unforced error. It's almost always in the 5th end, right after they mop during the 4th end break. That mop will typically speed up the ice a hair, and you don't always know how much it will speed up the ice. So unforced error there, but it's quite common after that mop to miss a couple heavy in that 5th end.
Okay.
Very inward.
Yeah. Ontario looking at rolling that one into the rings. They're going to end up nosing it instead as a guard. So you're going to see Manitoba here attempting to hit and roll.
I feel like it's worse now they have a
Try to force Ontario to chase it here.
Nothing there. What? It's too heavy or?
He said you're really in.
Really? Yeah. I thought I said wide. So. It ran there. That would curl. Dylan versus
roll. Yeah.
Dylan versus the door. Even they're big.
You're dead nose. It's okay. You're good.
This one's coming up right to the nose.
Is that throw okay?
Oh. Little tight. Your width is perfect.
Yep. the weight close to those? Your weight was good. Fine. Your weight was good. Okay, perfect. There you go. You heard me.
No, not at all.
10-5.
Yep. Lean.
And again, I really didn't hate the throw.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. All right, guess we're just rolling there. All right.
Ontario makes a hit, rolls over a little bit closer to
I got 11-5, guys.
the Ontario guard over on the side.
That's it. Guess we just roll into the corner then.
Control.
Huh?
Control. Same weight.
Roll into the corner then. Yeah. Why not?
It's Manitoba looking to get the hit and roll here.
Straight out. Close.
Just hits it on the nose.
Out of 9-4.
Yep. 11.
9-4.
Did he say anything about the throw or no?
19-year-old Dylan Stockton here. Looking for a hit.
Yeah, real good.
Front of the nose,
Good,
really
no.
nice.
I really like dead nose.
Okay. He slid out really light and tight. Good call. Hey, good, Justin. Big stuff.
That'll prevent Manitoba from rolling under that yellow guard. So just looking for a nose hit here. Trying to add an extra guard to the mix.
10.
Rolling onto the rings the other way is not the worst option either.
Hard throw. Straight out.
That's just fine.
Yeah, I like that. Like 9.
Okay.
Third's good.
Yeah, that's probably a really good call here. Ontario, if they hit that red about a half rock, roll into their other one, and possibly even slip into the rings, could end up with no more guards left, and then the likelihood of getting a blank after this end skyrockets. So.
Gonna get the roll over.
Yeah,
Get over just like that.
Pretty much just like that, yeah.
Yeah, good.
9-5.
Leading up to the end now that Manitoba's just gonna play the hit here.
Do you ever go behind?
He spins through and just gets a piece of the 12-foot there.
10.
Really nice shot by Dylan Stockton.
You might just want to try to score on 6 instead.
So Manitoba's still calling the nose hit here to try to get a guard, but obviously blank's still in the picture here.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
10.
Lean.
Yeah.
Close.
You can dump it.
Girl.
One hit at least. Yeah.
Whoa.
Tyler Fair with this throw, trying to get up to the nose here. No mistake.
Good throw.
Question here now for Ontario. You've got a 2-point lead. Do you just peel this one out, or are you going to play the draw around it? How aggressive do we want to be here?
Try to get this one too.
Good question. Yeah, I would lean towards the peel out. Kind of like we were saying with that 2-point lead going into the 5th end, you're pretty happy. If you could get away with this end with a blank, I'd say you're even more happy. The later they can delay being up 2 later in the game, like really increases their odds of winning. So
Yeah, we've seen some really nice hits from this Ontario team as well.
There. I like it.
A team that can bail if they get into a little bit of trouble.
yeah. Oh, they're
Changing
switching it
gears
up
here.
to the
Good.
game.
Yeah, I like that.
Interesting call, I guess. On the other hand, if Ontario could get away with a force this end, they're even happier than a blank. But playing this does kind of bring in that risk of potentially giving up 2.
Just just a reminder here, each team with 1 coach's interaction per half. So neither team used theirs in the first half.
One's good. Good room right now. One's okay.
2 minutes added to the clock for the game for these coaches' interactions.
Yeah, always curl. Gotta curl time. Gotta move a lot. Hard curl. Hard curl.
Weights in the ballpark. Need quite a bit of curl with this one to get it under that guard. It's coming over nicely now.
Yeah, real good. Yeah, perfect. Good.
Really good spot there for Ontario.
16. We're under the corner.
Do you like that? Do you like being aggressive?
It's quite good.
We were like.
You can see the finish here.
We feel more comfortable playing.
Very close to perfect. Just to get kind of picky, maybe like a half a rock deep. If you're Manitoba with a 2-point deficit, yeah, I see him tapping his broom with that freeze. I think you'd be really, really tempted to play that freeze and get shot rock.
We're speaking of our coaches' interactions here.
Tie!
Coach Lauren Hamlin really wants to talk to his team with this one. It's an important shot in the game here too. Really good to set up your 2 points.
I agree. Yeah, this could be a big turning point in the game here. Whether it's a force or a deuce in this end is a pretty big deal.
Is that how it works?
I don't think it's
Time on it. It's just like interaction sort rounds. Yeah, it is. Your coach seems like such a beauty.
I know. Yeah, it'll be a firmer 9 probably.
Thanks for letting me know though.
Gotta hit me.
It looks like they're electing to play the run back after this one.
I don't think it's going to move very much because that 10 on the last end didn't move.
I like this personally.
Coach Lauren not wasting any time with that one. And we heard a few of the players mentioning, wondering why the clocks were still running. That is one of the big changes calling them coaches' interactions. It's not a timeout per se. With the switch from 30 minutes for 8 ends to 32, your clock keeps running. So essentially your coach can speak for a minute with you, but the clock keeps running.
Well, that's really interesting. I actually wasn't even aware of that rule change. So,
one of many being brought in by World Curling for the next cycle.
9.
8-5.
Run back being called here.
Oh. Yeah.
It's close. Makes contact. Look at that.
Same thing.
That's good.
All right. So that was a little further over.
See, just curls up that hair at the end.
Like this here.
really good throw by Nash. Looked like just that tiny over curl could have been prevented by just a hair earlier on the sweep call, but really good throw nonetheless.
Yeah, and forces Ontario here to make a really good run around the guard too.
That was a really good throw. Had to stay on it.
You play the same shot or the draw?
The good news is if Ontario does make this one good, Manitoba's going to have that exact same run back to either score or get your blank.
Yeah, of course.
You have to.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
They're almost like down in the back corner.
Evan MacDougall now trying to replicate
Hey, line's good.
his first throw.
Line's fine. Top 12. Not too bad, guys. Dylan switch. Line's fine right now. Dylan drop.
Weights in the ballpark on this one.
Gotta be in. Come on, guys, you got it. Gotta be in. Hard.
16-5, it'll be tight.
Trying to curl this one under the guard here.
Hard, Dylan.
Up a little bit lighter than the first one.
Got a good one. Hard. Oh, great sweep, lads. Holy cow.
Gets it fully buried right there, top of the forefoot.
Yep.
Same ice.
Continuing to make no mistake on his draw weight. Really good sweep there. It's not only get it deeper in the house, but it's also curl it over around that guard.
I got
Same thing.
And three of the players on these on this Ontario team have been to a U18s and a U20s in the past, so they're all comfortable with the arena ice setting, and they're showing it here this morning so far.
I would think so. Maybe a hair big, but yeah, it's very close.
I didn't say that. 16-7. I was just lying.
Salt and pepper.
final stone here. Team Manitoba's 2, Skip. Nash Sugden.
No, well, what did I say? I said frick. Yeah, hard!
Looking to make this run back for the blank. Up enough. Look at that. Some great shots here being made. Manitoba 2, Ontario 1. And that run back rewards Manitoba with the blank. So lots of good shots being made here in this 5th end between both teams after the break. Ontario maintaining their 2-point lead as we head into the 6th end, and we'll be back with that 6 right after this. We are back here in Sudbury, the Jerry McCrory Countryside Sports Complex for the 2026 New Holland Canadian Under-20 Curling Championships. We've been treated to a really good game so far between Team Manitoba 2 and Team Ontario 1. And Ontario with the 2-point lead here as we head into the 6th end. I think we're going to see a similar strategy here for Ontario. Obviously, even ends. Manitoba's going to want to score their 2. Only 3 ends to go, so I think we're going to see Ontario stick with the rock at the top of the button. Carson has had no problems so far this morning. Putting the rock at the top. They're calling back 8 here, so this might be a little bit of a commentator's curse. One of the first ones of the week here.
Speaking of first for the games, I think this is the first time Carson has been a little bit off on his draw.
He's been exceptional so far this game. Stops in the rings though. But that's a rock that Manitoba may be able to use later on in the end. So they're going to throw this corner guard up. We're going to get some rocks in play this end.
Yeah, I imagine potentially the reason Manitoba isn't hitting that rock kind of like they did last end is because they're not quite as worried about that back 12 rock as they might be with a top button, top 4.
Feels
so
great.
Just electing to go straight to the corner guard instead of using that delayed corner strategy.
I don't think you're in. I don't think you're in.
And obviously with the 5 rock rule, if it stops before the house, you won't be able to remove this guard. They're hoping this one stops before it hits the 12 foot though. And we're running into the same problem as the last end. This one's going to slip in almost at the C line. So. See Evan here wasting no time running up to hit this rock.
I had a slip there. I had a little slip.
Last one, yeah.
It wasn't a bad one. Kind of have to ignore these ones. Hopefully I don't get fined for that one.
Really solid deliveries with these guys too. No movement at all coming out of the back.
Very solid indeed. You can tell all 4 of these Ontario guys clearly work really hard at their deliveries and all sorts of the game.
I love the throw.
Down the nose.
The whole way down, I thought we were 3.
Guys, it's getting quicker. Okay. I'm pretty confident.
I've had the opportunity to coach at Trillium Curling Camp the last few years, and this Ontario team looks quite familiar. I haven't had the opportunity to coach any of these Ontario players in particular, but I know they've been at the camp, and nothing but good things have been said about all 4 of these Ontario players by the other coaches. And I've certainly witnessed firsthand at these Trillium camps just how hard this team works and how much they care about the game, and it's great to see them here.
And we've got right across the board, we've got some really good teams here in Sudbury.
You're never in.
One of the bonuses, obviously, of having things like the U-18 championships and these New Holland Canadian U-20 championships, the more opportunities for these players to experience national championships and arena ice with this open environment. It's going to do so much good for the game of curling in Canada. We're seeing it already at the Scotties and the Briar. We're seeing so many younger teams coming up and actually being competitive, like right from their first appearances. So just what we need here for youth curling in our country. As mentioned, 36 teams from right across the country made the trip here this week. Got 18 women's, 18 men's, 2 pools of 9 for each gender.
I got a 16 too. It's getting quicker. Okay. It's like 5. That's fine. 5 feet. Okay, that's fine.
You gotta play that, otherwise you're gonna be third shot here.
It's pretty tall. I get that's fine. Yeah. Sorry, it's also quick.
Let's just throw the 10, see what we can do.
So Manitoba looking to hit and roll behind their corner guard here. Obviously with the Ontario Stone right on center line, trying to open up the scoring area a little bit.
Whoa.
The hit, they'll make the double at the back.
Sorry.
See, just curled a little bit more than they wanted to. They wanted to roll all the way over to the corner guards. Maybe just a hair light on that one. Leaves Ontario with a nose hit here. Slight roll over, bite the rings and sit 2.
I'm just trying to trust it. Yeah, he's got to make those rolls.
Clean, yep. Yep. Clean. Whoa.
Makes the hit, makes no mistake rolling over. But the 8 foot's wide open, so Manitoba's going to make good use of their corner guard here. Try to set up a multiple point end.
Yeah, it's certainly tempting to use this corner guard here.
I think at 17, you're almost there. Like,
yeah, the double on the 2 Yellowstones is going to be accessible a lot later in the end too. Try to get a couple around these corner guards and keep Ontario busy over on that side of the rings for now.
Feels a hair firm.
Top 4. What's hot? Where?
Back 8, back 12.
At a 14-3. It's like
This
really
one's just coming a little bit heavy.
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, there's been some heavy misses this end. I wonder if it's possibly just getting a little quicker throughout the game. Anything's kind of possible out there. When that mop happens in the 4th end break, that can kind of alter the ice a little bit. So kind of wondering if it is just getting that little bit quicker than the first half.
Yeah, not seeing any signs of frost either. The ice looks really good here if you're late in the game.
Well, I did. I gave it a couple little like testers. Banged it up a few times and then.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Really nice hit and roll there for Ontario.
Yeah, great job, buddy.
Really nice shot.
Great job, dude.
I think this is when you start freezing on something.
Hey, look, it's not a net.
I think a different, slightly less experienced curler would kind of run up and quickly peel that guard, but to play that with less weight and bring a 3rd yellow into the rings, I think was really smart. And
yeah, they'll probably
I think that's going to pay off for Ontario here.
Yeah, they're really thinking these shots through.
16-6.
They're not making many mistakes so far strategically.
Absolutely.
It's going to force Manitoba to move some of these yellows around. Try to create a jam somewhere.
Hair big. Might be through.
Where?
Might be through.
Calling another heavy one here for Manitoba.
Really got to sit.
At a 14-7.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not stopping there at the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, another case of the heavies there. I think if you're Manitoba, it might be kind of one of those times to just have a thorough discussion about paths of the ice, and always important to analyze where your misses are coming from. So when most of the misses are the same way, it's really important to just be aware of that and make that adjustment. Not just as like an individual, but as a team as well. Usually it does take a whole adjustment as a team.
Yeah, for sure. And being down by 2, you definitely want to leave those rocks in play. A little bit light and tap some of those rocks around. You can work with it. But
yeah, you're absolutely right.
With that one when it's yeah. Springs, unfortunately.
Yeah, very good point. Maybe Manitoba just isn't quite focusing on the tolerance miss this end.
It gives a chance for Ontario here to put a little bit of pressure on. Love this one to stay above the T line.
No, you're not back. Yeah, great shot. Yeah, very good.
That's a good spot for that one.
Sorry about that.
Ontario sitting 4 here.
Okay.
Why don't you do that? Try to tap it back a hair, maybe. Like back 4 weight. T line's okay.
Right. 16. Like 15-7. What do you think?
Where? Top 4. You like top 4. Then you gotta go.
Manitoba just looking to play a freeze here. Maybe a small tap on the rock at the top of the button.
You're 2. As hard as you can. Gotta go.
You're looking to make it difficult for Ontario to move. They're calling this one a little bit lighter, though.
What do you like for line? I don't like.
It's whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's all good.
Not the spot they wanted this late in the end, unfortunately.
You can play this if you want. I like that. Yeah.
I guess it's different this way and this way, but still.
Okay. Like 73. That red one. I just made it here. So.
We're just not setting Nash up there.
What's your ideal spot for this one, Jake? You want to come right down to the top of the button with this one?
I think so. I think you want to, yeah. I think if you could place it, you kind of want to get it like pretty much frozen to that top button one. There's more than enough curl on this ice to get right there. This much curl, you could probably even over-bury around that red guard, maybe even bury right under that top 12 yellow. There's so much curl out here. So, and the way he placed his 2 draws in the 5th end, I imagine he's going to be really close on this.
We're about to find out here. Evan MacDougall's first throw. It's all important 6th end.
Yeah, I'd say a focus here as well is just kind of anything in front of that top button.
This one's running a little bit more than their previous stones.
Always curl. 16. Curl.
Weight's looking pretty good now, though.
Very good. Yeah, really patient sweep there. Definitely, those sweepers were definitely aware the better miss was kind of anything in front. So.
Ideal here for Manitoba, looking to run this Yellowstone at the top 12. You want to make contact with those 2 in the forefoot and on the button. You want to leave yourself room to score at least 1. Down by 2, you're still in the game, scoring 1 here.
Yeah, sorry, we're just not setting
Exactly, yeah. At this point, when you're sort of looking at 5 in the rings with a few buried, probably focused on damage control and just finding a way to score.
Are you trying to kill all 3?
Yeah. Just open up. You need like quarter that rock.
Okay,
The good thing is here, you make this triple and nothing's going to be in the 8-foot, so you're still going to have lots of room at this point. You can force Ontario to make a draw around the 4-foot. Good chance here for Nash Sugden to open things up.
Yep.
Contact.
You threw it good.
Yeah, just a couple tough misses this end for Team Manitoba.
I like the weight.
Yeah, you can see
Yeah,
the
really.
frustration.
Yeah. Really close to that triple. It's a pretty well thrown rock. At least on the bright side for Manitoba, yeah, unfortunately they jammed that rock in top 4, but at least it's high enough now that you do have access to that button to draw that piece of that button and to only give up a score of 1 here. And like you said, you're absolutely still in this game.
Yeah, and even a steal of 1 here, you're down 4-1, you score your 2 and 7, you steal coming home. We've seen a lot of steals, and this team actually in their opening game against Alberta ended up stealing 4 in the 4th end, so we know they're capable of putting rocks in play and stealing a few points.
Yep, certainly the way Manitoba's last game went there, they know that certainly anything is possible coming home.
Even important to note, Manitoba was also down 2 coming home in that game, ended up scoring a 3, so familiar spot for them, and they're more than capable of getting the rocks in the right spots for that. Good chance here for Ontario, though. Put this rock in a good spot and essentially guarantee yourself a steal.
Whoa, you're not there. Whoa. No, just go.
Shot maybe over curling just a hair. Still stopped in a good spot.
Actually, you can probably just bump it off the door.
Side over curl does open the door, though, for Manitoba. See, this one just comes across center a little bit too much right at the end, so.
I'd say that door is open for sure. I'd be interested, I can't remember, but I'd be interested to know what kind of ice Ontario took there. Kind of a shot like that, you can certainly afford to be quite wide.
Absolutely.
And sort of in this setup, Team Ontario would be pretty happy with even leaving a hole of some sort if his last guard was really wide. Leaving any sort of hole onto shot rock would be a much harder shot than what he left with an overcurl. So maybe he just needed a little more ice too.
Absolutely. Manitoba's calling back 4, back 8 weight here. These are always a little bit scary. In the games we covered last night, any kind of extra weight just runs extremely straight down here. So.
I think that's a really good way to describe a shot like this. It's scary.
I think
for sure.
Draw weight out of your hand here would be good, and let the sweepers take it. You only have to tap it back about 7 or 8 inches to score your point. So don't overthrow this one. So final stone here in the 6th end. Team Manitoba 2 calling curl right out of his hand. Calling it heavy.
Needs a big carve here. Looks like he got it going pretty good, but will it be enough?
So it's just not moving enough. That's a tough way to miss that one for Team Manitoba. So a big steal of 4 here for Team Ontario to blow this game open.
Shake there, right?
And they're to take a 7-1 lead through 6 ends.
We're down 6. I think it's just disrespect in a way to play, right?
So both teams are going to go back and discuss their options. And discuss with the coach. Sounds like these teams may play on. So we'll be back with you. 6-point lead for Ontario, and we'll be back with that 7th end in just a few seconds. Stick with us.
Look at that shot. See how he reacts. There goes one moving in. Hit them both, too. Great shot. Great shot. Oh, he's going to pick it right out of there. He's got it.
A big steal of 4 in the 6th end for Team Ontario. This game a little bit more wide open after 6. 7-1 lead here for Team Ontario number 1. Evan MacDougall over Team Manitoba number 2. Nash Sugden and his team. So down by 6, 2 ends to go. What are we looking for here, Jake?
Yeah, I think if you're Team Ontario, you're just trying to eliminate as many reds as you can. Once that free guard zone time ends, I think you're looking at any opportunity to take out your opposition stones. If you're Manitoba, you're trying to probably junk up this end as much as possible. So pretty crucial for these first 2 guards to be placed pretty well.
And there's Carson going back to putting his rocks right on the button. As expected. Good chance here for Manitoba to at least test out a couple of corner guard lines and really nail down draw weight going into. Both of these teams do play later tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, so they're going to want to get a good handle on the conditions by the time they head into tonight's games.
Definitely, yeah. Just because there might be a big deficit in points this game, certainly like use these next 2 ends to learn the ice as much as possible, especially with it being so early in the week. They have so many more games left. Yeah, so I imagine just because there's a big deficit in points, there's no reason why they don't want to make as many shots out here as possible still.
Yeah, and I think Manitoba has to remind themselves that the game really is closer in the scoreboard. It's just the odd shot here and there, obviously. Down by 2 last time, they wanted to keep a few extra Ontario stones lingering in the rings just to try to set up their deuce, and it was, you know, Manitoba makes that shot, and we're talking about a 1-point game, so still some positives to take away here for Team Manitoba.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be part of their debrief after this game, just how the scoreboard really doesn't reflect kind of how well they played this game, and certainly many highlights. It's a really good shot by Carson. He's got draw weight and he's got this touch, so really impressive shot there. So Team Ontario left a guard up, but that guard's really wide out in the ring, so it's really hard for Manitoba to use that guard. And the beauty of that tick shot is tick Team Manitoba's rock into the house. So now Evan, with his shot, has a wide open hit instead of potentially placing a draw of some sort or ticking a guard of some sort. So with Carson making that perfect tick, this makes Evan's next shot much more simple.
And Team Ontario just wasting no time running up and looking to peel this rock out. No need to keep your shooter in play here. Any rocks in play is just an additional bonus for Manitoba to be able to use. But just looking to peel this one out.
Clean.
No mistake.
Great.
Good to remember too that all 4 of these players on the Manitoba team have 3 previous national championships under their belt, so they've definitely been in this situation before. You know, you're not going to win every game. 8-game round robin. It's obviously a long week. They've won their first game. Dropping 1 game is really not a big issue here. There's definitely some positives to take out of this game.
Where are we?
Yeah, just some tough misses here for Manitoba. This one's sliding just through the rings.
I think just hit it over the yellow. Okay. Anything thinner than half, you're good. Hey, even half's fine.
A little bit of a more precise peel coming on this one.
Yeah, this certainly isn't a peel you can just run up and set the broom at. Definitely need a little extra focus here with that jam in the house.
Yep.
Evan Medor with his second peel attempt. Went just over the top.
No mistake, makes it with just enough room over the top of his own.
Freeze or set?
From what we've seen this game, this Ontario team certainly has all the shots capable. They've made all sorts of draws, hits, you name it. They have it all.
Absolutely.
How close was it, Chuck? He's pretty good. That was pretty accurate for me. Three. Seems like whenever he gives you angle stuff, it's just not right.
Well, it's almost there.
And then you go on,
It's like
and then you go on to prove him right.
So we're looking to put this guard back up. Still hoping for a miss from Ontario to generate a couple of extra points. And stops just in front of the 12. No mistake.
Good shot.
What are we throwing?
Little higher, top 4.
straight. Really hard straight. Really hard straight.
Top 4.
You're like, oh, like.
You're a guard.
That's okay.
Oh, I thought I'd way more.
That's true if you go the other way.
It's just frost. We haven't played on that track. We just need to show that.
Yeah, just struggling a little bit with draw weight here for Team Manitoba, but a couple of extra rocks here to help them get the draw weight figured out a little better.
Yeah, good. Good shot. Yeah, good shot.
Back 8. Back 12.
So Jake, you've been fortunate enough to compete in 7 previous New Holland Canadian U-20 championships. 2 silvers in 2016, 2018, bronze in 2017. What does this event mean to you?
It means a lot. It certainly brings up so many good memories of all those Canadian juniors. Just being here, having the honor to be a part of the opening ceremonial rock last night too, just brought so many amazing memories. It's really like the footsteps in many curlers' careers. I certainly wouldn't be the same curler I am today by any means if I didn't have those New Holland Canadian juniors to play in. Yeah, just to all the juniors here this week, you know, my advice would be to just soak up all the great memories. All the amazing people you meet this week is certainly something to cherish. You know, my last Canadian juniors was like close to 7 years ago now, but even like some of my best friends today are some of the friends I made at Canadian juniors from across the country per se.
Absolutely.
So definitely just cherish any moment you have, and whether you come out on top or not, it's still an amazing experience that you'll remember for the rest of your life. So.
Some good words from a 2026 Brier champion here.
Good shot. Oh, boy.
As Jake alluded to, a really special moment last night in the opening ceremonies. All 4 Horgan siblings coming out and throwing the ceremonial first rock, and in Tracy Fleury fashion, she happens to put it right on the button. So, couldn't expect anything else from her.
Yeah, just clean that right to the button. Didn't have to do anything to that rock. Classic Tracy Fleury.
Yeah. And
Always
obviously
has
congratulations to Tracy on her Olympic bronze medal with Team Holman.
What?
Yeah, that was actually the first time all of our siblings have been able to get together since the Olympics happened. So
that's always special.
Yeah.
You got it.
And to do it in your hometown is even better.
Yeah.
So another freeze attempt coming here for Team Manitoba. Still a chance to score 2 if this one's made well.
I'm seeing a hair down.
Seeing a little down. Mine's good. Close. Get down the center.
Where? Hair soft.
I don't think so.
Top 4, yeah.
Mine's raw.
Like right to it. Just you. You got a good one. You really got to move it, Teeth.
Okay, center rock. Come on, blast it.
It's a good throw.
Right on the out.
Just getting puppy off. It's like, yeah, but it's like, how do we figure out how to play in the back half?
Just that small bounce allows Ontario here to just hit and stick on the nose.
Yeah, 2 seconds feel like a long second. I'm always trying to figure out who that is. Like, that's the not.
Clean. Clean. Clean, yep. Yep.
And MacDougall with the throw, just cleaning this one in. Makes the red go away.
Oh, he's playing the hit. You got it, buddy. Just make one. Finish it off.
So for Manitoba here, just a nose hit, score your single point. Final stone here, 7th end.
10.
Looking to close out this end with a point. And makes no mistake. Oh, rolls a little bit more. Commentators curse again. They're just cleaning that in for most of the way.
Really good game. Good game, well played.
And we've got handshakes. So really strong performance here for Team Ontario. Final's going to be 8-1.
Yeah, impressive shooting by both teams. Lots of impressive stuff out here. Manitoba's certainly going to look at that one end in particular, but still many great things to focus on from Manitoba. And Ontario coming off a really, really strong game from start to finish. They're going to be really happy with this. And personally, I'm really excited to see what these two teams have in store the rest of the week.
Team Ontario improving to 2-0. Team Manitoba 2 drops to 1-1. We're going to be back with you 2 p.m. this afternoon with the women. Team Ontario 2 against Alberta 1. We're going to have Sean Turf and Tanner Horgan on the call, so make sure to tune in. Thanks again for joining us this morning. Mark Robinson and Jacob Horgan. We're going to be back later this afternoon.